Hey everyone, I'm going to try really hard not to blind you with this tutorial. It's going to be a really pretty one, I think. And as I was getting ready to do it, I was creating my pockets out of these beautiful black cardstock. You know, we sprayed them the last video with the distress spritzes. Tim Holtz distress spritz. And so I had some of these left that I intended to make tags out of, and I thought they would be perfect for this process today. But as I was looking for something, I don't even remember what now, I saw these, and they were in my Happy Mail from Noelle, and they're just picture frames, like probably, I'm guessing like digital maybe, because it's not real heavy, but I thought these would be perfect. How easy. You can't get any easier than this. This would make a great, what I'm making is like specimen looking or see-through pockets, or I don't know the correct name, but look how easy this would be just to use that frame as your pocket. So I had laminated these things a long time ago, and these are just some fussy cuts. These are some stickers, and I know that it looks like, well, I mean, you know, you can see the sticker is outlined. And I thought that was like the sticker showing, which it might be, but there's the same thing on anything you're laminating because that's where the seal is. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to use it because I think it looks great with this one. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? What a pretty thing. So we're going to cut this the same size as our frame. And then we're going to make one a little differently. And the reason I'm cutting it the same size is I think when you use these for a pocket, and you put acetate on the inside, the reason I like to cut them the same size as the pocket is if I don't, I feel like I get hung up. Like when I'm trying to put my pocket in, the edges I get hung up on if it's not even with the outside. I hope that makes sense. I'm not talking, probably not making any sense. But the top of my flower is going to be cut off if I do it that way, but it's not going to matter because the flower is so pretty, it looks like I've got the whole thing. So I'm just going to cut this, like I say, to match my frame. And I don't know, for all I know, people already do this. I want you to know, if somebody does something, I really try to say I saw it such and such place. And the stenciling I done on the magazine, I did see that somewhere, and I can't for the life of me remember, but I know that I have seen that. I know that idea came from someone, and I'm going to do my best to find out where that was and link it to that video, because as I was reading my comments, I thought, you know, I don't feel like that was my own. And I don't know that I said it was my own, but I feel like I need to clarify. I saw that somewhere. I just don't know where. Long time ago. And I just had never done it on a video. So I want to make sure I give credit where it's due. Okay, so just like that, we have two beautiful pockets. Aren't those pretty? Okay, so I'm going to sew these. You don't have to sew them. A really cool way would be just, well, look at that. I've got half of it hanging out from underneath. Would be just to put some little brads and hold that into place. But again, as you're sliding stuff down, if you don't put something on the back, your brads might get hung. You have to be careful what you're putting in the pocket. So I'm not, actually, we could put the brads first and then glue this over it, couldn't we? Sure could. Maybe I'll do that on one of them. Okay, but my other thought was I made the pocket, and I'll just make another one here real quick so you can see how I done it. Not that it needs explaining, but I like my pockets not to be totally flat. Sometimes Sometimes I don't mind the flat, but so I just folded up maybe 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. And you can make these any size you want to. And then I'm going to do the same on the sides. I do a little bit bigger on the sides. It's not much bigger, but you know, you don't have to measure it. Just fold it in. I miter those. Just cut that off the corners. And then I was intending to use some die cuts to cut out my circle or my square, whatever I wanted for my picture to shine through. And then I decided I'm not going to do that because a lot of people don't have the die cut machine. And I thought, well, let's just play and we'll just use something else to make our square or rectangle or whatever we want to do. And I think on this one, I'm going to use a rectangle. And I'm not good at measuring. Not good at a lot, am I? So I'm looking around my desk here to see if I can find something that is rectangle shaped. How about something like this? This is just of course I'm going to cut out most of my, okay, so on this, let's use this one. It doesn't have a lot of spray. So I'm going to make this one a rectangle shape. And all I'm going to do is flip it over, and I have a metallic marker. You could just use a pen, pencil, pen, whatever for this. But because I have black cardstock, it's going to be hard to see. So I'm going to either use a metallic pen or a white. I have a white marker here. I'm going to use. I'm just going to hold that there, and I'm going to trace around it. And let's do one that's a circle for this one. And I have this, honestly, I just had this sitting here, little thing of buttons, and I want to just draw a circle around this. If you had something and your circle wasn't big enough, you could always hold your pen like this and go around the outside of it and make it a little bigger. Hope that makes sense. So now how do we cut this where we don't ruin our paper? Well, to be honest, I'm terrible at cutting a circle. I'm not trying to tell you everything I'm bad at. I'm just saying if I can do it without the expertise and the know-hows, anybody can. So I should give you confidence, actually. So I'm going to take my awl. You could take a pencil. You could take anything. Just poke a hole. I'm going to do that in both of them. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut out like an X so that I can get my scissors in there easier. Just something like that. Same with my circle. And actually on the circle, I cut all the way up to my line. I don't know that that's necessary. That's just how I did it. So now I'm going to just start cutting around. And if you move your paper, I know that sounds silly, but if you move your paper versus moving your scissors as much, you'll have a better luck with a circle. So now we have both of our pockets cut out. I think that looks great. I truly do. I think we did a fine job. Now, because I've folded up my lip more than, see, I didn't leave myself a very big edge there at the bottom. So I'm going to trim my little lip off the bottom so that it doesn't show through my window. And it doesn't show through my window. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to use this laminate that we stamped in. And I'm going to put it right in there. Isn't that pretty? And when we put a tag or something, well, here, let's use something with some color. Doesn't that look cool? I love it. Okay, So I'm just going to cut this the best I can, even with the side. Not, I'm tucking it right there, and I think I want it to be cut right about here. You could mark this better than I'm doing. I just want to make sure that I'm just kind of folding it because it's laminate, so I can see where I folded. And just like that, we have a beautiful window to go inside of our pocket. Now, isn't that neat? Need to trim mine a little bit more. That's okay. That's not going to take us but just a second. And how perfect. Look at that. Isn't that neat? That's going to make a great pocket, isn't it? Do you like that? Yay. And I'm going to glue it, but I may end up sewing around it at a later time. Never know. But I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I find that that holds the acetate really well. And let's do one for our circle. And I think I'm going to go ahead and glue these two on too. I love that. That's a neat little tuck, isn't it? And there we have, just that quick, within 20 minutes, we have 4 really cool pockets. I love this. Okay, so I think, and I mean, we can decorate, we can put little tags and, or, you know, labels or whatever we want. I think I'm going to sew around these probably. I don't know. They're just so darn pretty. Easy peasy. And I love this metallic. I kind of hate to cover that up. Let's see what we got. And then, you know, also, it might just be that I don't decorate it until it goes in a book. You know what I mean? Maybe I do that. Maybe I just wait. I do like this little number here, if I can find it again. One. You could just put like a little number here. That would look neat. I'm going to grab some writing spots where we can see just how neat this looks. I was grabbing some of this paper where you could kind of see. It shows up better because I did white, but you could stamp words or numbers or any kind of thing in this on the acetate, laminate like we did, or just stamp it on the acetate. But it, with the white, shows up better for me on something dark. And because I have these books here that I'm working on, that one's going to be perfect for something like this. Now, when I put something in it, I can see it here, but I think it's going to be really hard to show up on camera. But I think that's really pretty. I think something like this would look great as a pocket with this pink. I was trying to see. I don't have any really skinny tags, but that one would look good. Or one of these like this would look good underneath there, tucked in. Oh, gosh, I just love it. I think it's so pretty. I grabbed some. Here's a skinny one. This might look good. It's still too big for the pocket, though. But I was looking at this one. If we used it as a side tuck, Wouldn't that be, or a side pocket, wouldn't that be cool to put one of those watercolor pictures in there? And again, it's hard to see because I used white, but if you had done something that was black or whatever, it would look so good in there. I think this one's probably too tall. It is. But it would probably go in something like this, or this one might look good in there. Is that too wide? Yeah, it's a little bit too wide to do it this way, but if you did it this way, you can kind of see it. I mean, it's really hard to see because I did the white. But let's, you know what? Just so I can make this, I did keep some pieces of the acetate. And let's stamp something on this. Just to show what I'm talking about. I think you already know, but I would like to just do it anyway. You know what we could do? We could do something as simple as our script writing. So I'm going to use my stays on. And I know this is hard for you to see. But there it is. And if you had put this inside of the pocket, you see it? And then put something behind it like this, wouldn't that look neat? I love that. Yeah, I think definitely the darker color would have been the way to go, not so much the white. Yeah, I love that. But I think that's just a quick, simple, easy idea for making pretty pockets. So pretty. Look at that. Think of that in a pocket. Making these our little acetate pockets. So fun. And you could, let's do this. Of course, this is going to be a little bit backwards, but it's just, it's script writing. It's not really, we'll do it sideways. How about that? That way it doesn't look upside down or backwards. I can take it being sideways. So let's lay it on there. How about that? Let's see. Doesn't that look neat? I love it. Let's do it to our other one. Should we do it to these two? Where it shows up better? I didn't have enough glue on that. Or I mean, enough ink. It shows a little bit, but I'll do it again. Oh, isn't that cool? I love it so much. So cool. Okay. What I do with my other one, we'll do it too. There we go. Doesn't that look neat? I have one more. I want to do them all that way. I like it so much, I want to do them all that way. Let's do our ledger on this one. How about that? Something a little bit different. We'll have to do it sideways so it doesn't look wonky or backwards. See it? Isn't that cool? I love these. I do. I think this is a great, great addition, pocket addition to any journal. I really do. So I'm going to lay these on here where you can see them a little bit better, except for the shine. Lay them on something where you can see that we have given them lots of beauty. Lots of goodness. Oh, I just really like that. I hope that you do too. I'm sure this is an oldie, but if it is, it's a goodie. We've just kind of created some acetate pockets, and they are really, really pretty. I intended to just use the ones that we laminated with the white, but to be honest, I didn't think they showed up well enough with something behind it unless it was dark, and I just don't have a lot of really dark tags like that. So I think this works best. I hope you like this, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.